Hi, friends. You caught me on a good day with a bad computer. This computer's been in retirement for at least 12 years. It's a HP, but I think I got it working okay for for this film. And let me see if I can get a little bit more brightness on here. I think we're okay. It's about White Castles. White Castles on Christmas Eve or a day or two before Christmas last year. Went and got $500 out of my checking account. Don't have a whole lot, but I thought, why not? Why not do an experiment and see what happens? So we go to Candy and I go to a White Castle in Louisville, and we know the cashier, and we trust the cashier, and we say that we want the first people to come in up to that order up to $500, we're going to pay it. So if a person buys $5 worth of food, it's paid for. If they buy $20 worth of food, it's paid for. They will not be told who paid for it. That was the deal. Candy and I would be sitting at a booth close by. She will be monitoring what's being said and the amount. And what we saw and heard was nothing but spectacular. So I need to share it with you. First lady comes in, she's looking at her purse to see if she could afford both coffee and a hamburger, and she was short. She was short a few cents. The cashier said, and we had talked to her to say this to people. If you had all the money that 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 you'd like to have, what would you buy in here? She said, I'd love to have 3 hamburgers and coffee and maybe some fries. Cashier says, you're going to have it and you don't pay a penny. We watched her eyes, the elderly lady's eyes. She had a cane. She still had her zip up purse. Just a little purse about, it was more of a coin purse. She was counting her pennies and what she had in there. She zipped it up and said, really? Tears started coming down. This first person, she got her hamburgers, her coffee, and her fries, and sat down and cried. Next person, an elderly man, appeared that he would come in late at night and just to pass time drink coffee. From what I under, understood, and he says, "I'll take my regular coffee. Let me check to see if I can afford either fries or a hamburger." She said, "What would you like?" If He had $20 to spend for food tonight. Oh my God, I ate five White Castles. I'd have the Big Red. I'd have fries. And I'd skip the coffee tonight because I haven't had a Big Red for a long time. She says, "Have a seat there. We're going to bring it to you. There's no charge." He stood there staring at her. It went like this. "You're kidding, aren't you?" She said, "No, we're doing something special tonight." He sits down and he gets the food and he spends much time eating, thanking, and getting refills, free refills for the Big Red. Tell you the truth, I think he alternated between Big Red and the other ones that you could put under the faucets and drink. But it didn't matter because once you bought a drink, you could choose any that you wanted as often as you wanted. Well, we watched a third person come in with a bunch of kids, and they're all saying, "I, I want a lot of ketchup and mustard on my hamburgers." And she said, "Well, we can probably get about two hamburgers for each of you." And Wednesday, "Can I have fries?" She says, "I'll count my money." And the cashier said, "Don't count your money. Just tell me what your kids want and what you want. There'll be no cost. No cost to you for doing something different today." Lady didn't believe her. She says, "Come on, I've got money. Just can you figure up how much it would be for two hamburgers for each of my kids and one fry for all of us and a drink for each of us, soft drink?" She said, "I could do that, but you're still not going to pay it." And she looked puzzled. And the kid said, "Once again, can I have three hamburgers?" And another one said, "I'd like to have five, the bigger one." So the guy said, "I'd like to have five hamburgers." Each one said, "I want fries." And then they started naming what drinks they liked, which it didn't matter because the drinks were all free and they were all the same price. And the mother said, "Don't do don't do this. Don't do this to her just because she's a nice cashier." The cashier said, "This is a special day. you get what you want. She burst out crying as she waited for the food and had a seat, and it was brought to her. She was still crying. The kids were laughing and eating and enjoying the feast. So this went on from 11 o'clock in the morning until we left. I don't know how late it was when we left. It's when we thought we were running out of the $500 that we gave the cashier to pay for everybody's food that came in. What struck me the most? It was an elderly man, 90, in his 90s. He told the cashier, "I'm back again." She says, "You always come at this time of night." He says, "I'll take my regular." I was interested in knowing what his regular was. It was coffee and cream. And then he would sit there like he was meditating for an hour or two, passing time, because he had apparently had no one to be with. He did that night. I went and talked to him. By the way, before that, I, I, I made sure the waitress or the cashier asked if you could buy anything in here you wanted with any amount of money. What would you like? And he told her. She said, "Have a seat. It's not going to cost you." I thought, he's so close to me. He's one booth over. I think I'll just sort of slide over there and talk to him. I said, "Could you use any company tonight?" He said, "Yeah, because I have no friends. I've lived longer than my friends. I come here at night just to feel people's just to feel people's presence." I said, "Hope they treated you okay there at the cashier. Are you gonna have something tonight, or you drinking coffee, or just stop by to sit down and feel people's presence?" He said, "She won't believe it. She told me to order anything and everything, regardless of the price, and there'd be no charge." And tears, I saw the tears come down. I said, "Oh my gosh, what a prize that people are getting tonight, because I've heard you're not the only one that didn't have to pay." He says, I don't know why White Castle decided to do this. I'm sure it's going on all over the nation where there's a White Castle. It's a special promotion of some kind. Says, I think you're right. You could, no, I said, you could be right. You could be right. And I asked a little bit about his background. He's very old. He had been an assembly line worker, I believe, at the Ford truck plant. And to make things stranger, I also was an employee of the Ford truck plant on Westport Road in Louisville, Kentucky. But I didn't tell him that. Too too much of a gap of years. So this is a type of thing that went on. I'm trying to think of something else to share with you that was out of the ordinary. There was a group of people from a halfway house. The halfway house was for people who had been convicted of crimes, but this was the halfway house was the last place that they had to spend time at before they were released. And if you didn't have money, they gave you food tickets. And here comes, I don't know, 20 people with food tickets. The food tickets would pay for various restaurants, White Castle being the one of them, but only a certain amount. Didn't go over $7 or so. $7 a day, paid for one meal a day. It's called the Desmos House in Louisville. The Desmos House. Good people. Got called for marijuana. Got caught with an open container of beer in their hand while they were driving. So they had to go through the system of prison and from prison to the halfway house. I saw the whole group of them sitting together, and well, I knew this was going to be a one time opportunity to find out more about what they did and when they were going to be released. And when they went up to the cashier just automatically said, order what you'd like. There's no cost. So they didn't have to use their ticket. They could use that ticket to buy a meal the next day. They had only one meal a day with the ticket. But here at White Castle, they didn't use the ticket because their food was being paid for by someone. Well, they didn't know anybody was paying for it. They thought it was White Castle, um, a White Castle happening. That they were doing it. They were doing it as a special treat for anyone that walked in. It wasn't advertised. It couldn't have been advertised because it was my idea and it was my $500. When I got ready to leave, we hadn't used up near the $500 when Candy and I decided to leave. And the the server or the cashier or the person taking the order said, "We've got $125 left over to give you out of the 500." And I said, "It's for you." She said, "What? Why?" I said, "There's no reason because I want you to have it." Now, I hope to do this again another Christmas time. But this has been on my mind for a year to do a video on it. So I thought it'd be something special, not only for the people that got to eat free, but for the people watching this. I know it was for me. I know it was for Candy. If you like this type of stuff that I do, feel free to subscribe. I've got 103 subscribers. That doesn't sound like a lot unless you knew just a little while ago I only had 10. Um, I don't do this for money, of course. I do this because I was a author of many books of poetry, and my books stopped selling because so many self-publishers publish their own books through Amazon's what they call themselves some type of printing company where you could publish your book for free if you uploaded it on the PDF file. Well, I got four on there, but I paid someone to do it to to do the books for me. They took the handwritten poems and made four books out of it under my name, Jim Wortham. That's the only way you could ever find them if you wanted to find my books. And I'm not promoting anything, but I will say I wrote my first book in 1969. That makes me 75 years old. And some of the books going clear back into the 70s are on there as out of print books for sale. I don't want you to buy them. Don't want you to buy any of my books. If you want one, leave a message. I'll mail you one free. Not a penny. I just need your address and your name. I'll inscribe your name and my name. Write a little note in there thanking you. And you know my name because it's on the video. Anybody that wants a free book that I've written, My gosh, if it's over 1 million, it's going to be a long time before you get it. Just say you'd like a free book, a free poetry book, uh, from watching one of my videos. This is the first time I ever said that. Hey, at 75, I'm giving stuff away, okay? I'm trying to find clothes to give away to Goodwill, books to give away to Goodwill. But if people want my poetry books that I began selling in 1969, and total sales of all the books are around 100,000 copies. Some of the other videos will talk about it if you want to see any of the other videos. They're scattered. I don't know how many videos I've done. I do this. Do you know why I do this? I do this because I I can't write like I used to. It used to stream from my mind, and I just write and write and write. And now I do write sometimes. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is also under my name, you'll see. Be sure you get the right Jim Wortham, though. It'll have my picture on it, but a younger picture. If you like what you read, you want a free copy of a book, it's free to you, no postage, not even a penny. We're going to treat you like you walked into White Castle. I hope you enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it. I know we've gone almost a half an hour. If you like my style and want to hit the subscribe button, there's 3 levels. If you hit the top level, you'll get notice the same day I release a video. They're raw, they're unedited, they're spontaneous, and you knew that before I told you. Thanks for visiting me tonight. May you have a wonderful rest of your life. Thanks again for visiting.